I was switched at birth when I was 3. The good news? The family that took me in was insanely rich, and I knew from a young age I was the fake heir. I also knew that one day, this couple would find out who I really was. So with this temporary cash superpower, I set up a surprise for them early on. If they ever kicked me out for the real heir, I could take everything from them without mercy. On my 20th birthday, I found out my adoptive parents were secretly looking for their biological son. So that very night, without hesitation, I made my fiancée mine before she found out who I was. The next day, my identity was exposed and my family threw me a check. Jack, there's $50 million in here. Step aside and don't make things hard for Mike. Hearing that, I didn't hesitate at all. I signed my name, grabbed the check, and walked out. What a joke. Whoever stays has to deal with the fiancé's male assistant, the poor student, and her first love. Let the real heir handle that blessing. I was the tragic male supporting character in a romance web novel. According to the plot, after the banquet, my fiancé would fall for a poor student working there as a part-time waiter. Then my fake heir identity would be exposed, leaving me humiliated. From then on, I'd become a miserable tool, paving the way for the female lead and getting crushed by the male lead. I already knew I was the side character, so why would I keep playing along? Eat, drink, and get out. That was the smart move. Jack, what's wrong? My fiancée Lucy saw me spacing out and sat beside me to ask. She wore a custom evening gown that perfectly showed off her curves. Her well-kept skin looked warm and smooth under the lights. Because she'd had some wine at the banquet, her baby-faced cheeks carried a soft blush. She was breathtaking. My mind slipped for a second, so I quickly cleared my throat. It's nothing. I'm just a little tired. Lucy, go take a shower first. Lucy rolled her eyes and asked, What? You already hate the smell of wine on me. I immediately put on a sincere look and replied, Of course not. It's just getting late, so I thought we should rest early. Lucy didn't suspect anything. She smiled sweetly at me, then got up and walked toward the bathroom. Watching her graceful figure disappear behind the door, I quickly stood up, gently picked up the phone she had left on the coffee table, and walked fast to the open-air balcony outside the room. According to the plot, Tom, the poor student she had just met at tonight's banquet, would call Lucy soon. And because Tom had twisted his ankle, Lucy would rush out to take care of him. Since I was leaving soon anyway, there was no way I was leaving with that kind of humiliation. The night breeze brushed my face. I had barely stopped on the balcony when the phone screen suddenly lit up. A number labeled Little Brother Tom popped up. Just as expected. I took a deep breath, swiped to answer, and put the phone to my ear. A deliberately lowered, weak-sounding male voice came through the phone right away. Lucy, when I was heading back tonight, I accidentally twisted my ankle. It hurt so bad. I'm alone in my dorm. Can you come take care of me for the night? Hearing that, I gave a cold laugh. Who do you think you are? Calling her Lucy? The person on the other end clearly didn't expect a man to answer. He froze. After several seconds of silence, he finally reacted, and his tone instantly turned stiff. Who are you? Let Lucy answer the phone. I said coldly, I'm Lucy's fiancé, Jack. A grown man twists his ankle and doesn't go see a doctor, but calls my fiancé for help in the middle of the night? I don't think your ankle is the problem. I think your brain is. After hearing who I was, Tom stopped pretending to be pitiful. Instead, his voice carried a strange sense of superiority. Oh, so you're the fiancé Lucy talked about. She told me herself that you're stiff and boring. He paused, then said even more arrogantly, Forget it. I've got nothing to say to someone like you. Give the phone to Lucy. I want to see whether she chooses to come take care of me or chooses you. I chuckled and replied, Oh, that confident? Fine. But it's getting late, and Lucy and I still have plans tonight. We can compare another day. As soon as I said that, the voice on the phone panicked. Plans tonight? What did you say? What plans? I smiled calmly. A boyfriend and girlfriend, an engaged couple alone late at night. What else would we be doing? Lucy is my fiancé, so of course we're doing something to grow closer. What, nobody taught you that, kid? You bastard! If you dare lay one finger on Lucy! Before he could finish yelling, I blocked him, deleted the contact, shut the phone off, and calmly returned to the room to put the phone back where it was. Water pattered in the bathroom and steam filled the air. Because she was showering, Lucy hadn't heard a word of our conversation. I turned and went to the other bathroom for a quick shower. When I returned to the bedroom, Lucy had just come out in a bathrobe. She wore a silk robe, its belt loosely tied. Her damp long hair fell over her shoulders, carrying the fresh scent of a shower, and her cheeks were pink from the heat. She looked even more charming than usual. I stepped forward naturally. I wrapped my arms around her slim waist and said softly, Lucy, if I remember right, we're getting married next month, aren't we? Mom and Dad have always wanted a little grandkid. Hearing that, Lucy's face turned bright red. Normally she would have pushed me away in embarrassment, but tonight, the alcohol had clearly lowered her guard. She only twisted lightly in my arms and gave a soft huff. Didn't I say we'd wait until the wedding night? I said impatiently. I can't help it. You're too beautiful tonight, Lucy. If I keep holding back, am I even a man? After years as an engaged couple, Lucy naturally had real feelings for me. And since the plot had only just begun, Tom's place in her heart was nowhere near enough to shake me. Most importantly, she never got that phone call. It wasn't until late morning that I was woken from deep sleep by a sharp doorbell. I casually put on a robe and slowly walked downstairs. As soon as I opened the door, I saw my parents standing there with a young man. He wore old, faded clothes, looked thin and weak, and kept his head lowered with a timid look. It was Mike, the real heir who had been living among ordinary people. I pretended not to know and stepped aside. Mom, Dad, why are you here so early? My parents exchanged a glance, their faces heavy. They led the thin young man into the living room. After everyone sat down, my mother spoke solemnly. We came today because we have something very important to announce. She pushed Mike, who had been hiding behind her, forward. Then she explained with a choked voice. This child is our biological son, Mike. We only just confirmed it. This poor child has suffered outside for so many years. My father looked at me sharply, then continued in a tone that allowed no argument. Jack, now that the truth is out, even though you've been with us for so many years and have managed the company well, the position of family heir rightfully belongs to Mike. Hearing that, I felt nothing. In my view, there was nothing to blame my father for. Blood is blood, and fake is fake. In the original plot, to keep the company stable, I gradually handed over power so Mike could smoothly take over the family business. But in Mike's eyes, that meant I was greedy for the company and refused to let go. So after he got power in the company, he started going against me. I had to keep the business running while also guarding against Mike stabbing me in the back from time to time. Even worse, my fiancée Lucy started getting tangled up with the poor student she sponsored, her caring male assistant, and the first love who had returned from overseas. At first, Mike worried that Lucy's family would stand up for me, but once he realized Lucy and I had fallen out, he stopped even pretending. Facing trouble inside and out, there was nothing I could do. I was forced to leave in defeat. But now, this company mess can be cleaned up by whoever wants it. I'm not doing it. So without another word, I